Hello, everyone. This is Ron and Marcus joining you for a very special edition of Fimi Nation today. This is unusual. We're coming to you on a Friday afternoon, but we kind of have some breaking news. Marcus discovered last night. We've been, wishing for a new Fimi X8, but now it looks like it's real. We got information last night that a new model will be coming out, and we don't have a date for it, but we want to kind of go over what we do know about it and, try to, answer any questions if anybody has it. But Marcus, welcome. And how are you today?
Yeah, not too bad, Ron. Doing okay. I had a couple of good drone flights yesterday with the Mavic Mini and the Hubsan Zeno 2. So, yeah, not too bad. And this is kind of interesting news about the Fimi X8 SE 2020 version. It looks like it's pretty much incremental changes, but all of them are good. The other thing that I thought was very interesting, and we'll talk about in a minute, is Fimi Care, which is seems to be similar to DJI Refresh. So we can get into those details here in a sec.
Well, very nice. Yeah. So I guess we'll start off right from the get-go. Marcus, do you want to give us a recap of how you discovered this new drone and where it's being sold at?
Yeah, so I saw it, boy, on a Facebook post, and I don't even remember who posted it, Ron, but there was a link in that to the Banggood webpage where they're introducing it, and they've got a pretty hot price on here, pre-order price to start of $399, and you can choose either the Chinese warehouse or the U.S. warehouse. Now, as we all know, when you pre-order a drone from any of those Chinese retailers, it's typically months before you get them. But I would say that that's a hot enough price that it's probably not a bad deal. In any case, what I want to tell people is you cannot just go to the the Banggood website and search for the Fimi X8 SE. You won't find it. It'll just tell you product not found. You have to follow the link, and Ron put the link up in there for the
super secret link to the product, right?
Yeah,
right.
Directly to the product. So the only way I know to get to it is if you use that link. And then, interestingly enough, you have a couple of choices to order. You can pick the choice with Fimi Care, and that's $414, and you choose an in-stock alert. And I presume that when it's in, sorry about that, guys. Somebody must have gone out my front door. Put my phone on silent. Sorry. But
I thought that was celebrating the celebration sound for the new Fimi X8.
Yeah, my wife must have walked outside. That's I've got one of those Ring doorbells.
That's the Ring, right? This show is sponsored by the Ring doorbell. No, it's not.
Yeah. But anyway,
sorry, we ruined your. You ruined your thought with the doorbell.
No, that's okay. So, $414 with Fimi Care in-stock alert, but if you choose without Fimi Care, $399, and you can actually pre-order and put your order in directly.
Yes, I can order today if I don't get the Fimi Care.
That's exactly right.
Okay,
that's exactly right.
If I want the Fimi Care, I gotta wait a while.
Well, I'm not sure what that means. I have to tell you, I would recommend probably just clicking the in-stock alert
and not waiting for the Fimi Care.
Yeah. Well, no, waiting for the Fimi Care.
Oh, wait for the Fimi Care.
With Fimi Care, $414. So that's an extra $15 for Fimi Care. And I can talk about that right now if you want, Ron.
Go right ahead. That's going to be a very hot topic, since this is the first, I'm going to say, is this the first non-DJI drone to offer? Well, no, I shouldn't say that. The first, I'll say, let me back up here. The first kind of Chinese knockoff company that offered any type of care program or extended warranty.
Exactly right.
Because I was going to say the only one, but I know the Skydio 2 offers a program.
Yeah.
But I'm breaking your train of thought. So let's hear all about this Fimi care program, Mark.
Well, why don't you let me share my screen, Ron?
Great idea. I'll wait for the signal here.
I sent you a request.
Share screen. I think we got it.
Yeah, let me know when you got it there.
Hold on, let me put it. Let me get it like this, maybe. Hold on. There we go.
There we go. So let me get to my screen here, and I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom.
Okay.
Where it tells us about Fimi Care.
Well, you're looking for it. I'm going to shout out the chat here. We got Tampa Drone Life in here with us. Hobson's Choice. John Coopy's in the house. Alan Hazard's here with us. Rick Halber's here with us. Ron from 3X Drones. So we got a good crew in here. Probably people can't wait to line up to get this Fimi X8. So Marcus, take it away with the Fimi Premium Care Program. Yeah,
so this is interesting. So it's a no-fault replacement. You crash your drone. It even says here that if there's covers drone damage caused by liquid contact, impact, pilot error, etc. So truly a no-fault situation. You crash your drone, or I guess what I'm thinking here is it doesn't give you any details about whether you have to send them your old one back. So I'm not sure about that. Like you do with DJI, for refresh to work on DJI, you have to have
the old one.
Yeah, so if you just lost it, it doesn't work. So
flyaways don't count.
Flyaways don't count, but there's no details here that tell us that one way or another.
Right. But I like the no fault. That's kind of like car. Remember when auto insurance was a big deal when it went to no fault? No fault
auto insurance. So they'll give you 2 replacements within a year. You would just have to pay a replacement fee of $40. So I mean, I just don't know why you wouldn't choose that. That just sounds like a no-brainer to me, especially on this initial deal where if you look clear back at the top, let me scroll all the way back up, and we look at the deal here with Fimi Care. It's $414. Let me click on without Fimi Care, and it's $399. Hey, for $15, I'd say that's pretty darn cheap insurance.
So in other words, for the price of 2 for eating at McDonald's, you can get this Fimi Care. So yeah, it's a low risk thing, even if it's got to jump through some hoops. It's worth taking a chance on.
Yeah.
But would you take the chance if it slowed down your drone delivery by a lot?
No. I would probably just take the drone then.
But the problem is we won't know. You know what I mean? Like we won't know when we order, but down the road we like with the Hubson Xeno 2, we discovered that the people who ordered the Flymore kits got theirs ahead of the people that ordered the base kit. But we didn't know that at the time, or I'd have ordered the Flymore kit. I always assumed that you ordered the base kit, like with the DJI Mini. If you ordered the base kit, you kind of got it faster than the Flymore kit, right? Because they didn't have them ready at first, but the Xeno was the opposite. In other words, it changes from drone to drone. There's no set pattern.
There's no way for us to know, I guess.
Rhyme or reason is the old saying, right?
Yeah. So I see Alan Hazard is asking about some of the improvements.
We're going to dive right into that. But before we get off of the thing now, would you order from the U.S. and pay the $299 shipping, Marcus, rather than from China?
Well, there again, how are you going to know how it gets here first? I mean, it's just a kind of a crapshoot. But I'm going to say that I'd order from the U.S. warehouse. So this is what I'm picturing in my mind. I don't know if it's true,
right,
but I'm thinking that they're probably bulk shipping to their U.S. warehouse, and then they would ship it to you from there. But whether one is better than the other, how would we know? There's no way to know.
But right now we're looking at, if you order from the U.S. warehouse, if you got the premium edition with the Fimi Care, so about $417, or to be exact, $416.99. Tax tags and whatever, and delivered to your door. And like Marcus says, I think ordering from the U.S. warehouse, I think what that'll help. Maybe it won't get your drone any faster, but right now, when you order from the Chinese warehouse, in my last 2 GearBest products, it seemed to say it was shipped when they put it on the boat in China. So then you go 3 weeks without seeing the shipping update, and then it gets someplace in California, and then gets on a FedEx truck, and the shipping starts updating. Or at least this way, if you do it this way, then U.S. warehouse, you won't go through that whole 3 or 4 week period where you're not getting any updates. It'll go from this U.S. warehouse to the FedEx truck, and at least you only have a week of kind of waiting, because you won't really know what's going on before that period. If that makes any sense. I'll give you an update. I ordered the just most recently. I ordered the Fimi Palm. Since we're talking about Fimi, I think I ordered it on January 1st, 2020, and I'm going to get it Monday. So the same thing happened about 3 weeks ago. I got an alert that it was shipping, but that just meant it got on a boat in China. And just the other day, I got an alert that it actually got put in the truck in Los Angeles. So it's all speculation, but
you're missing one big important point here, Ron. Now,
yes,
if you look at my cursor here, total price $414, you're going to earn 414 BG points. That's probably about a nickel or something. I'm not sure what those
I was gonna say $1.41, but I'm probably being too generous.
John Coopy could probably tell us what those Banggood points are worth.
Funny, I think we exhausted the whole shipping details of whatever. So if there's any questions on that, so we're going to move on to the features here now. And of all the new features, Marcus, what's the one that grabs your eye the first?
Well, I'd say probably the home run feature is their the distance. They've upgraded the distance from 5 kilometers to 8 kilometers.
Now, I know you're the mathematician in this group here. What roughly does 8 kilometers translate to miles?
Okay, give me just a second here.
Because a lot of us are in the U.S. here. We're what they call the imperial system, and a lot of us think in those terms and not meters.
Yeah. So 5 is about a little over 3 miles, and 8 is right at 5 miles.
Okay, so 5 miles, good, nice range.
Yeah. From about a little over 3 miles to 5 miles is
okay.
That's what they've updated, Ron.
So it'll go almost as far as our Skydio 2s.
Well, the Skydio 2, you're lucky to get a kilometer out of it.
Yeah. I was trying to throw you off there.
I don't think I would compare it to the Skydio 2, although I guarantee you the Skydio 2 has a better camera, and I haven't even seen this camera.
You would sight unseen, huh?
Sight unseen, yeah. So the other,
I mean, but to your point, I mean, I think the first thing anybody talks about in a drone is range. You always hear range. It's the first thing anybody talks about. So I think you're dead on that range thing will appeal to a lot of people.
Yeah, and then the other thing that they're touting is the 2018 version had 33-minute flight time, and the 2020 version has a 35-minute flight time. So, that's an incremental change.
Right. Now, I didn't check the specs close enough. Is that extra minutes due to a different battery, or is that just due to better software engineering? Why I ask that is that somebody's going to ask, they haven't already, can you use the same batteries from your current X8 in this new one? Do we know that question answer yet?
Let's see. So I'm looking at the battery specs right now. Well, no, excuse me, I'm not.
Yeah, they don't do it. They don't do it.
I'm going to say
do a comparison. Yeah,
I'm going to say it's probably the same battery, because they're just showing it as it is the same battery, because they're showing the same battery for both versions. So
okay, so they achieved the extra flight distance. I think I know how they do it, Marcus. I think this weighs less than the old one.
I looked at that and it's the same. Yeah, no, well, no, the package weight is the same. Yeah, so I'm going to say,
Oh yeah, item weight 2020 765 grams, and 2008 version 790 grams.
90 grams.
So
That's right.
you save 25 grams.
Yeah, so that could definitely be part of it.
We lighten the load up, as they used to say in the old days, Marcus.
Yeah, that's a good catch, Ron. I didn't see that.
Oh boy, I get my brownie points, huh?
You absolutely do.
Hey, throw me at least 20 gear best points for that catch, right?
That should be, one would think so, right? At least. Yeah. So the remote controller, I don't see any big differences there. I'm going to tell everybody here, though, that let me tell you, the Fimi controller is one of my very favorites. It just works really good. You put your mobile device, let me get to a picture of it here, if I can find it here real quick. Yep, there it is right there. There's the remote controller. And so they're showing it here with an iPad in there. They're saying that it will fit an iPad mini.
Remember, I did the video where I demonstrated that on one of my videos where I flew it with the iPad Mini 4, and it worked perfectly. FPV did the screen recording. The processor in the iPad Mini 4 was powerful enough to do the FPV, run the app, and do the screen recording in the 2008 version. In the 2020 version, we can't confirm that yet, but because this could be the new iPad Mini 5 that you see there.
Yeah, how we obviously can't know that, but here's what I'm going to tell you. That controller works really well, and it's really handy. Like I've got an iPhone 11 Max, so it fits in there very nicely. It doesn't touch your buttons on your side of your phone, so you don't have to worry about like on the drives me crazy on the Xeno controller. You put your phone in there, and it's always pushing one of those buttons.
Yep.
Or even like the DJI controller.
Yeah.
When you got that thing on the edge, you can't swipe on the screen. You can't swipe up from the bottom. It's problematic. And this is the best solution that I've seen. And I'm not gonna tell you that it has the same excellent feel that you find with any of the DJI controllers, but it works really well. It's got a good feel to it. And
Marcus, you want some good news on the remote controller? The max controllable distance has changed. On the older one, it was 5,000 meters, and now it's 8,000 meters.
Right. Yeah, and of course that's the range difference they're talking about. So
right. So yeah. So okay, it's just another way of saying it. Okay. So it's good to know that the controller was bumped. It's good to know you wouldn't be flying out to that 5 miles and not have FPV for the last mile.
Yeah. So the point there is, like, if you've got an older version, your old controller is not going to, I believe, is not going to work with this new one. I would assume. I'm sure there's differences there.
Okay.
So Ron, I was also reading, it must be further down here, that they were talking about how they improved the gimbal. They've got some new software and stuff that controls the gimbal better, which is a good thing to hear from Fimi, because everybody that has the older version understands that we've had an issue with a stable horizon. So that'll be a welcome change.
The tilted horizon mode on the Fimi X8 is almost as famous as the hups and drop, huh?
That is one of those features that was a problem. No question about it. Okay, so Ron, I kind of scrolled down to the camera section here, which I believe is your forte. Can you maybe walk us through the differences between what we're going to see on the old camera as opposed to the new one?
Yes, I will. And I think there may be more changes in the camera than maybe anything else about the drone. I mean, the real showstopper is, it's a 4K camera, which the other one was, but now it offers HDR, which of course, will help, the dynamic range between light and dark or whatever, and smooth it out better. So the HDR feature could be a very useful one, especially if you're in tricky lighting situations. Now, the downside is they haven't improved the camera to a 4K 60. So people that wanted 4K 60 will still have to get the Hubs Xeno 2, which offers that feature. But of course, the Xeno 2 does not offer the HDR. So you always have to make a compromise, a choice in these drones. You know, you want 4K 60 or you want HDR. Marcus, do you have a preference on which one? If you could only have one, which one you would choose?
4K 60 to me is more of a gimmick than reality. Now, if at some point I was trying to shoot something in slow motion and high resolution, I suppose, I mean, if I could have it, great. But if I don't, it is so far from a deal breaker as far as I'm concerned.
And I can always live with shooting 2.7K and 60 if I really want to do a lot of slow motion stuff.
That's exactly right. Now, Ron, I don't understand focal distance, so I see there's a difference in of over a millimeter. What does that mean to us?
Well, let me just finish up the other conversation. I agree with Marcus. I think the HDR is more important than the 4K 60 if the HDR is done well. I mean, a lot of smaller camera phones that HDR, and some of them do it well, some of them don't do it well. So we won't know that until we haven't tested. But to Marcus's FOV lens thing there, it looks like this one will have a slightly less wide field of view than the other one did, but it's so small a change you will never notice that. But the aperture, it's got a slight bit wider aperture at 2.0 versus 2.2, so it will let in more light, and it'll put more things in the background, in focus. So that's a it's a slight change, but that's probably a bigger difference than the FOV. And the focal distance, I'm not quite sure. 3.54 versus the old one of 4.73. It just means how far that the lens could focus on a focus point away, and this one has less than the other one. So I got to be honest with you, I'm not sure if that's good, bad. I know the equivalent focal distance is the same in both of them, 26 millimeters, but again, I'm not sure the focal distance whether that's good or bad.
I got one more camera question for you, Ron. Do you think that this improved camera will entice Brian Singleton to buy this drone?
Well, I'm going to say no, because he's going to be busy reviewing that Autel X Premium. What's that? What's the Autel drone you guys called? What's
the X-Star?
X-Star, and he's got that new drone coming in. The
Vitus.
The Vitus. What's the company makes the Vitus?
Vitamagic. No, I have no idea.
No. Anyhow, he's gonna be busy with a couple other drones, so this probably won't entice him. But back to the stats, I think maybe this has a little bit larger of a sensor, a 2.6 rather than a 1.23, so a little bit bigger sensor. Pixels are the same. iOS range looks like the same. The shutter speed's a little bit better on this one. All the video resolutions look to be about the same. It changes a little bit on 720. It gives you more options there. It's 120 versus 200. But the thing people most look for, the 4K settings are all the same as it was on the older one. And this one does DNG, the other one did DNG. They both have video format of MPEG-4. They both need a U3 card. They both have bit rates of 100. So a lot of it's a lot of small changes here, but a lot of good changes. I'm going to call these incremental changes. The camera should be better according to the specs, but specs don't make the camera. I've seen many times where a camera with less specs actually looks better than a camera that has quote better specs. So the proof's in the pudding, as they always say.
Proof's in the pudding, yeah. So, Ron, I was just kind of looking at what you were talking about on the 720p frames per second. I'm just wondering if anybody that ever owned a Fimi X8 SE shot in 720p at 200 frames per second.
A slow motion geek.
You'd have to be a real slow motion geek. So I can't imagine that's a spec that would make much of a difference to anybody. And I think as we go down here further, we're going to see that they've changed the codec. We can go to that H.265 codec. And Ron, if I understand that correctly, it's just the advantage to that is that it takes up less space on your hard drive.
That, and it's a more efficient codec. I guess it's more efficient, but also it takes more processing power. So there's upsides, but there's a downside to it. So if you had an older computer or maybe not a high-end video editing program, maybe you'd be better off sticking with the H.264. In other words, if you go out and shoot a great video, whether you record an H.264 or H.265, you're still going to have a great video. You know what I mean? You're not. And if you shoot crappy video, just because you shoot an H.265, doesn't mean you're going to be able to edit it into a masterpiece. So, I mean, one of those things, I wouldn't get too concerned over it, but it's nice that they offer it.
Yeah, I can tell you that like my Hero 8, my GoPro, it actually warns you when you try and put it into the H.265. It tells you, hey, if you don't have a fast computer, don't use this codec.
Exactly. So yeah, be careful. Make sure you get Mark said your equipment, your editor. I mean, maybe not every editor out there can do H.265. So if you don't know that you need it, if you don't know that all your computer and software is ready for it, keep it in H.264 for now. It's what they future proofed it. You know what I mean? Someday it's going to be a big deal, and it's here now.
Okay, Ron. So there's a spot here where they've listed features. Do you want me to kind of go through?
Yeah, that's probably a good point to hit these.
Yeah. So of course it says foldable and portable design. That's nothing new, but I thought this was interesting. The 3-axis mechanical gimbal, lightweight 3-axis mechanical gimbal with I'm not sure if this is a change, but it says with the latest professional control algorithms, bringing in the ultra smooth and jello free videos, even in high speed or strong wind conditions. So hopefully that's an improvement over the old gimbal that we continually had those tilted horizon issues with on the Fimi X8.
I think it is because I think they went out of their way to highlight things in red that have changed.
Yeah.
I believe you're right, Marcus.
And I think, Ron, you should take 3 through 5 here because they're all camera related.
Okay, we touched on this already, HDR video and photo, and I don't think I mentioned that it had HDR photo. The high dynamic range, video support, the 2020 mile makes your shot looking. They didn't put they're not spelling good here. Looking instead of looking, stunning by preserving the original detail, light and color tones of your scene or subject in such a way its HDR capabilities take the visual experience of any creator to entirely new levels. So we covered a little bit. Like I said,
hey Ron, should we warn people about how much space that takes on their SD card?
Good point. If you shoot HDR video, I mean, photos no big deal because the photos files aren't that big. But yeah, you will chew through your memory card space faster if you're shooting the HDR video. So here, Mark has made a good point. If you're shooting, I don't know, in the middle of the day and the light's consistent, the same or whatever, don't put the HDR and you don't need it or whatever. It's not gonna really gain anything. But if you're shooting in a difficult lighting situation, like maybe around sunset where you have brights and darks or whatever, the HDR are kind of blended better together for you, and even out the differences in exposure. But middle of the day, 12 o'clock noon, most parts just turn it off. Night shot is something we didn't talk about yet. You can take your drone with you and capture the beauty of the night. And that's a thing that the DJI Mavic 2 Pro introduced almost 2 years ago now, and the Hubsan 2 added it on this recent release model. So it's something that people are starting to add, and that doesn't mean you can shoot in the dark. This isn't a FLIR camera, but if you live near a city skyline, it's all lit up by buildings and bright lights, whatever, you'll be able to capture all that. Now, if you live in the boondock sticks and there's nothing lit up, it won't see anything, if that makes any sense, Marcus.
It does. And I see, yeah, number 5 just explains exactly what you talked about the codec.
Okay, preserve the quality and details while occupying 40% less compared to the H64. But like Marcus warned before, be careful before you turn that on. Make sure your computer and your software can handle the more processor intensive H265 file. Now, Marcus, I'll let you handle number 6, that optical flow positioning.
Yeah, so this one is interesting. So 30 meters, which optical flow, which is way up there. I mean, that's about 100 feet in altitude, and it allows you to keep stability even without GPS. So I'm trying to remember. I never flew the X8 in ADI mode. I believe I'm trying to remember if there's a switch to turn off GPS. Honestly, Ron, I don't remember, but evidently this allows you to do that. And now I would think that where that would come in handy is, say, for instance, you were in shooting inside a building, or a big warehouse or something like that, and you needed your drone up high and there wasn't GPS. That's where that optical flow with that kind of range would really help you, because it would keep the drone steady. Now, understand, when you're not using GPS, if there's wind, that's would blow the drone side to side. But what the optical flow would do would be to keep it at a stable altitude.
Let me ask you this question, Marcus. I forget, in my testing of the Fimi X8, your Fimi X8, is there a way to turn GPS off and fly in ADI mode?
Yeah, so that's what I was just trying to remember. I don't remember, Ron. I'd have to go back and look at
because if you could, I guess if there was some strange situation where we wanted to turn GPS off and fly in ADI mode, then you had the extra help of not only having to stay at the right height, but kind of this 30-meter optical flow would even keep it from drifting around a whole lot. Again, unless you're in extreme winds or whatever.
Yeah. So winds would still move it around, but that's the point of optical flow. It looks at the ground and it tries to keep the drone in the same place by and there has to be detail on the ground. In other words, that's why they warn you sometimes to turn those downward sensors off over water, because the reflection can mess it up, and it doesn't know where it needs to stay. When you hear about people, their drone just took a dive into the water, often that is those downward sensors that get confused and they don't know where the drone needs to be. And the same thing, so if you're flying your drone just over a concrete pad or something like that, well, often the optical flow can't see enough differentiation in what it sees down there to know exactly where it needs to be. So it's not perfect, but it does work pretty good. And strong wind would also be a problem.
Alan Hazard in chat says, no, it just switches to ADI when there is no GPS. So Alan's confirming there is not a hardware or a software method to switch off a GPS on the Fimi X8, which is common on most drones nowadays. That switching GPS off is something that seems to be going away slowly. We have the 30-meter optical flow positioning. How many meters is the optical flow positioning for the Xeno 2?
Oh gosh, the Xeno 2. I'd have to go look it up, Ron. I have no idea. But typically, most of them are about 10 meters. So I can tell you the most drones above 10 meters, optical flow doesn't work. And I'm going to assume that the Xeno 2 is about the same.
Yeah. So this is really a breakthrough then with this 30-meter one.
Right. Yeah. Number 7 is kind of interesting, and we talked about that a little earlier. They did increase the flight time by 2 minutes, and Ron speculated that they did it by reducing weight. Who knows? Maybe they have more efficient ESCs too. But more flight time is always a bonus, and it looks like it's with the same battery. And then we've already talked about the 5-mile range now, as opposed to the previous 3-mile range. So it says that it did, though, this is interesting, it increased their signal strength by 5 dB. I'm not enough of a wireless guy to even understand what that means. But in any case, we do know that it increases range.
We need to get our expert in, our gentleman friend in Canada, with the Xeno 2, Blue Skyver.
Oh, Blue Skyver, yeah.
He worked for. He's an engineer. He worked for the phone companies. He would understand all those signals.
He would understand all that wireless business, yeah. So I'll just scroll down here, Ron, and you tell me if there's anything interesting. I guess, yeah, we can look at this page right here.
Now, just by the looks of it, do you see any difference in the looks, or is it same body?
Physically, it looks the same.
Okay.
And now here's something interesting that I didn't see before. It also says rainproof design. I don't believe that was on the old one.
No. That's a feature everybody wants too.
Yeah, so that's very interesting that you could fly it in that it's somewhat
yeah
waterproof. Huh,
I'm looking at the smart shots here. Did the old what's Cineshot, and did the old one have Cineshot?
Oh, you want me to scroll down here a little further?
I jumped ahead, huh?
Yeah. So I was
sorry. No, go back. I didn't mean to jump way ahead. I was looking for I never saw the rain thing. Where is the rain? What heading is that under? I never saw it.
One that just says Fimi X8 SE. It's one.
I see it. It's that small print all with the umbrella. I got it.
Umbrella there, right?
Got it.
Yeah. So then we're getting down to the camera and
the powerful camera, and it mentions F log mode and D&G raw. The old one had log mode, but I actually tried. I shot in log mode. I went to grade it, and I didn't think it was very flat. In other words, I didn't think the log profile would, help the grading at all. And so maybe this is improved.
Yeah. And while they didn't specifically say that they changed the gimbal, but where it says here that it has the latest professional control algorithms, I am hoping that maybe that's telling us that they improved the software for better stability.
I think you're right. Hey, I want to jump back on their powerful camera. Here's something we didn't see before. It's the second thing over from the left. TDMA HD real-time transmission. That's another thing that need to be improved. The FPV signal on it held up pretty good, but you didn't get very far out, and it got kind of very unclear, real low resolution. Like, it definitely wasn't 20p. It probably was down to 260p or whatever. So maybe they're going to keep the image quality of the transmission closer to like the 720p than they used to. So that'd be a nice step up, wouldn't it, Marcus?
Oh, that'd be huge, because as we both know, the FPV on that drone, while it worked okay, I wouldn't call it bad, but it was not really clear for sure.
Once you got it any distance away, I mean, it was still there. You could still see the fly. It just was real low resolution.
Low resolution would be a best way to describe it. So, Ron, when they're talking, so I'm down on the camera where they're showing the lens expanded here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not sure what this means. It says equipped with the latest high silicon ISP chipset. So I do know how important a chipset is for cameras. It's how it allows the camera to process images, but I am not familiar with high silicon, if that's a good brand or not.
Yeah, I've never heard of that brand before. So, I mean, it could be the best brand in the industry, but I've just never heard of it.
Yeah, but evidently it is something that they changed. So that I know for a fact that can affect image quality in a big way.
And that's a good thing too, because the other camera, I mean, just on limited testing, I think the camera looks a lot sharper on the Xeno 2 than it did on the Fimi X8. So if this helps bring it on par with the Xeno 2, or maybe even better than the Xeno 2, this is a nice addition.
I agree, Ron. And then this is HDR, explaining HDR and the HEVC codec again. So
and that little picture shows you exactly what what the HDR could do for you.
yeah, yeah. So we probably beat that subject to death. And yeah, all this is just kind of a repeat here. And then this one, I'm talking about the range, Ron. They're talking about that TDMA video transmission system again. So that's interesting. Ultra portable design. Well, yeah, we all knew that. Important, lightweight and compact, and it gives the dimensions here, small enough to carry in a backpack. But that, I believe, is the same dimensions as the old one.
Now, Marcus, did the sticks come off on the Fimi X8 controller? Or did they stay on all the time?
You know what, Ron? I don't remember. I don't remember. Let me.
Yeah, I never tried it. Even though I had more recently, I never even tried to remove the sticks.
I've got my new wing for my Fimi X8. Yeah, they come off. Yeah, I thought they did. So they do. So they unscrew, and there's a spot. Yeah.
Inside, now I remember it. Kind of inside is rubber.
Yeah. So let me see if I can hold it up here so you can see. Right in here is where the sticks are stored, but I always just left them on, so that's why I didn't remember.
Right. Yeah, I never took them off the whole time. I had it.
But since we're on that page, I can kind of show the way the way it fits your phone in there,
and how you can get the iPad Mini in there.
Yeah, and then your connection is on the side here, and it just is really an elegant solution. Yeah. It worked very, very well.
Yeah. Again, check my video out. I don't know, I did maybe 5 X8 videos. I have one where I have the Mini, and I'm showing the screenshots of it and showing me putting it in and out or whatever, and it it worked perfectly in there.
Yeah. Hey, I like what Alan Hazard is saying here. He goes, "Who's going to test the rainproof first?"
Oh.
I like that. Yeah.
We nominate you, Alan.
That's a good one.
I can't test. It doesn't rain here at the Jersey Shore.
Okay, Ron. So now these next two here, where it says more powerful propulsion system, we don't see that in the specs that they provided. In other words, these where it says improved aerodynamics. The only spec here that's different is this 35-minute flight time. So whether it's actually faster or not, we don't know. But it does say more powerful propulsion system. Now, I'm going to warn everybody. You saw that I've got a new arm for one of mine, and that, I believe, is because this thing is really a really powerful drone, and I think it puts a lot of torque on those arms. So let's hope that they improve the strength of the arms on the drone at the same time. Right.
That's a big concern. If they haven't done anything to strengthen up the arms on that, this could be a problem.
So, Ron, I can talk about this next one here too. So I'm just looking at this. All of this looks the same. Here's the one exception I want to talk about is hyperlapse and panoramas. They've always promised us that, the panoramas. We've never got panoramas, and I don't think hyperlapse either. If we have hyperlapse, I've never tried it, but I know for a fact I tried to shoot panoramas with it, and they just haven't made it available. They said that the 2018 version would have it, but they're not there. So hopefully by the time this one is released, they'll have that figured out.
And they better, because the Xeno 2 has panoramic photos and different ones. Like it has one, it takes 48, and then it has, it's, I think, 4 different panoramic modes. So a lot of the ones that DJI has. So they better get this done. And I know the Xeno 2 has hyperlapse also, so they need to get that working to stay competitive.
Well, I agree, and like I said, that was promised us that in the 2018 version, but never delivered. So, but other than that looks the same. Smart tracking. I got to tell you, tracking on the Fimi X8 was always hit and miss. In fact, it always said when you looked in the app, it would always tell you, it would have little letters underneath that said beta, and it never really worked as good as what you would find on a DJI drone or even the Hubsan Xeno. Even the original Xeno, let alone the Xeno 2, did a much better job of tracking than the Fimi did. So hopefully,
yeah. So this is an opportunity for them to make a big improvement here.
Yeah, yep. So that would be good. Let's hope they did.
Now, how about that waypoints? Did the other Fimi have waypoints?
It did, and it did a good job at it. Waypoints worked well.
Good,
yep.
Good. Now here they're showing the panoramic modes here, and it offers 3, and I'm almost positive the Xeno 2 has 4, and what they're missing here is the Fimi doesn't have the spear panoramic, which
doesn't have the little planet.
Yeah, doesn't have the big boy.
Well, I can tell you, I think they had the same picture on the 2018 version, and we never got it. So,
yeah. Well, remember too, we're nicking them for this, but the Hubsan Xeno 2 in that creative mode thing setting you have inside, the 2 things that didn't work on the Xeno 1 still don't work in the Xeno 2.
Still don't work on the Xeno 2. The Xeno 2 does not have an automated droney. You can use LineFly and make your own. You can program it in there with LineFly, but it doesn't have just an automated quick shot droney. That's kind of interesting how these different companies do things differently.
Right. Now you get your time lapse photography, which of course that's the hyperlapse. Right.
And I don't think we had this on the 2018 version, and if it was there, I never tried it, so I don't want to say definitively on that. If somebody in the chat knows, maybe they can. You
can fly free. It'll focus or do a waypoint. That's kind of common.
Yeah, typical stuff. But that's kind of cool. I like that, being able to do a waypoint time lapse.
Yeah. Oh yeah. How about that night shot? They're showing you the difference between shooting it without the night shot mode and with the night shot mode. And you can see how it just glows with the night shot mode on.
Yeah, it looks like it works a lot better. That's fascinating, Ron. I mean, that's going to be awesome. I wonder. Hopefully, it's not vaporware like some of those other features.
Right. And now this SAR. Do you know anything about SAR mode?
I do, and it works well on the 2018 version. So you do get 3 times digital zoom. So Ron, if you had ever put that into SAR mode, you would have seen a little scroll on the screen that you could get that digital zoom. And I don't think it's lossless, but it is a zoom. But it also then puts the GPS coordinates on the screen for you.
Okay.
So that's kind of handy. And then precision.
The next feature is your feature, Marcus.
I'll tell you guys, I have taken more grief over the Fimi X8 SE precision landing than almost any drone ever. Here's what I'm going to tell you: it's just a crapshoot. Hopefully there's more. There's more brain power in this guy that he'll be able to execute it better. It has to have a landing pad just like the Xeno 2. However, unlike the Xeno 2, it uses that downward facing camera to recognize the landing pad. And I was hilarious. It was kind of a joke on my channel for a while. I was putting out video after video about it because they would come out with a firmware upgrade and say, oh, this works better now. Well, I never could really get it to work. Finally, in the end, they got it working enough where it would hit the pad, but it was kind of interesting. As it would come down, right at the very last second, it would literally be inches off the ground, and the drone would tilt to one side or the other. And I don't know if that was the rotor wash from the props or what that would cause it to do that. But it always would fall to one side of the pad or the other. But they did eventually get it where it would kind of hit the pad. So hopefully this has more processing power and we'll do a little better job.
Well, when you get this drone in, you need to put up against the Hubsan Xeno 2 to see who the precision landing champion is.
Yeah, I tried the Xeno 2 precision landing again yesterday. It was 10 feet from the pad, Ron.
Well, I guess precision is all in the eye of the beholder.
All in the eye of the beholder. It is.
Okay, well, let's move on to the app. How about the app? You can share live aerial video with friends via social media platforms. So does it has the built-in feature that the Xeno 2 just introduced on Monday, live streaming to it says social media platforms. Could that be YouTube and Facebook?
I'm quite sure that's what it is. Yeah.
Wow. So the Saturday and Sunday morning sunrise crew can now buy the Fimi X8 and broadcast.
I would say that would probably work well for them. I can tell you, I like the Fimi app. It's pretty intuitive. So I don't know if you can see my cursor here. I've got it over the top of the very middle at the top there where it says in-flight GPS. That's really a handy feature on this drone. You tap on that, and it brings down a drop down that tells you all the drone status. It tells you, how your compass is, how the IMU is. It gives you a go or no go on all of the flight parameters of the drone. Really a handy feature.
Good. And then precision positioning system.
Yeah, this is where they're talking about that 30-meter height.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
So it makes me wonder if they're going to give you the ability to turn off GPS. It doesn't exactly say that here, but that 30-meter height is something. So it tells me that downward camera must really be improved, which also gives me hope that it might help with precision landing.
Wow. Okay. And at the bottom, the wrap up, it says rain proof, which we discussed, return to home mode, which the other one had, dual IMU systems. So
now that's, what, I don't know if the old one had that or not, but I can tell you that is absolutely standard on any DJI drone you get.
Good. GPS real-time tracking, which we talked about already. Automatically hover in position when approaching a no-fly zone. So it knows no-fly zones, Marcus?
Not that I've ever seen, but
well, they haven't mentioned this any place else in the software, so they threw this in on us. Again, boy, no, I don't know if anybody wants the no-fly zones.
Yeah.
So we definitely will have to keep an eye out for that because again, they didn't mention anywhere else in the copy. So low battery alarm return, which of course most of our drones have. Wind warning, which the other one had because one time Marcus got that gale force warning the first time he took it out to the Snake River.
Yeah, gale force warning. But what I'll say about Fimi was they wasted no time. They fixed that in a firmware update just very, very quickly because I think a lot of people were getting that. And I've also seen that excessive power warning too. That I'm sure that's a warning from the ESCs. So that's probably a good thing.
And again, excessive power warning, like you said, we've seen that before. Okay, the specs here, we've kind of covered all this. Okay, at the bottom, package contents. You get the drone, one battery, one controller, props, propeller.
Yeah, three each of the props, yep.
Okay, AC cable, charger, and instructors. I think that's the same stuff that came with the first one.
It is, and then, of course, we already talked about premium care. So
the big question now is, I guess, I'll make it a two-part question. Would you buy this, and who do you recommend this drone for?
Listen, Ron, I would probably buy it just because I'm a nerd. Do I need it? No, I've already got a Fimi X8 SE, but just because I'm curious as heck to see the differences. And you know what? For $400, to me, that just seems like a steal. I probably will. But I would say that if you already have a Fimi X8 SE, or you already have a Hubsan Xeno 2, I don't think there's no big game changer on there that's any reason for you to scramble and go out and buy one. How about you, Ron?
Yeah, I mean, we're just checking the specs. I mean, I probably wouldn't recommend it for anybody who already owns the Fimi X8. I'm going to relate to like iPhones, and if you're not an Apple guy, then Samsungs or whatever. If you had the iPhone 10 and the iPhone 11 came out, yeah, it's a little bit better, but it probably you probably wouldn't want to run out and upgrade, but
Let me ask you this, Ron.
yes.
Is this the Hubsan Zeno Pro of the Fimi world?
The Zeno Pro. Yeah, well, you know what? I'm going to say no. I think it's a little bit better. I think some of the changes in here, especially to the camera, I think it's got a lot of nice little upgrades. It's not. It's not. The Pro was a total, to me, disappointment that it only, increased range and didn't do much else. Where this does a lot of little non-nice things. Again, it's like if you went from the iPhone 10 to the iPhone 11, you got a lot of nice upgrades all around or whatever. Maybe it wasn't worth, going out and buying if you just got the 10, but it is upgraded all over the place. And it's definitely an interesting drone. And if all the stuff, the specs come in here, if most of them play out to what we think they're going to be as far as help a drone, I mean, this could be a real nice contender. And maybe to be recommended over the Hubsan Zeno 2 possibly. Yeah. Because even right now, I mean, with the current X8, if you said to me, the X8 or the Zeno 2 or whatever, it would be pretty close right now. In that battle, I'd say, well, the X8 is probably a more mature drone than the 2 is, but the 2 could be better than it down the road if it got all the proper firmware updates. For again, and this could equal out the Hubsan 2 with the improvements it needs, and maybe even better. So to me, it's just great that we have 2 drones now in the I'm going to say the under $500 price category that really are good alternatives to going out and buying a DJI drone.
I'm telling you, Ron, you're absolutely right, and that's what gets me excited too. I like that affordable category. I like that from $600 to $300 range of drones, in there. Hey, we got a couple of really good comments, Ron.
Let's stop talking and let's stop talking about the drone and start going to the chat room. Go ahead, tell me which one to highlight.
Well, I like Stephen Ewing's comments. I'll let Marcus sort it and the bugs out of it then. Thank you, Stephen. It's a deal. And then John Coopy says, this is great. The real question is, anybody that watched John's recent video would know, and John, feel free to put that link in here too. The real question is, what's the toilet paper capable payload of the XE SE 2020? And yeah, that's huge. That's a big deal.
Yeah. I'll say, John, I don't know, John, but I know one thing. I bet you, the Mavic 1 could pick that thing up easily. I bet you the Hubsan Zeno 2 could do two rolls.
The Zeno 2 could probably take that whole bale from I mean, I'm telling you, I flew that thing yesterday. Man, you put full stick on that thing in sport mode, and it sounds like a Formula One racer going across the sky.
Yeah, I mean,
it is loud and proud, man.
I mean, the Fimi X8, it's got, it's got plenty of power. It's got all the power you need, but the Zeno 2's got a leg up on it.
Incrementally, yeah. It absolutely
does. A little more powerful than the Fimi X8. Now, again, that's no slight, because the X8 is powerful as it needs to be. It can fight the wind. It can get back and under any conditions. But that Zeno 2's just got a little more under the hood. Is that fair?
That is absolutely fair, and it's even faster than the Mavic 2, which just blows my mind. That Mavic 2 is really a fast, powerful drone. And I think the Zeno 2 even has a little edge on it.
Hey, John dropped a link in here, and we approve links in here. He's got a great video where he delivers a roll of toilet paper to his neighbors. So everybody go over there, click that link, go over to John's station. You'll have a good time, and and don't we go over there, subscribe while you're there, hit the thumbs up, and ring the bell and share the video with your friends or whatever, because everybody needs a good laugh in these strange days of it seems like every day the news is worse on this virus stuff. But I saw, let's see, here's a Stephen Ewing back here. He had to cancel a Xeno tour through GearBest because they lost it. So the question is, does he do the Xeno 2 or the new X8? Okay, there he's putting us on the hot seat, Marcus.
Yeah, that's a good one, Stephen. And well, that's tough. Well, I'll tell you. My original Fimi X8 SE, I had a really rough start with that drone and was not happy with it at first, but I grew to really enjoy it as I went along. And as Fimi came out with firmware updates, they really improved it to where it really was kind of one of my go-to drones. So I can say that, that Fimi drone, I expect that it'll be a pretty decent drone. The Xeno 2, I mean, it's a good drone, but we're seeing a few little. Let me put it to you this way: the Xeno 2 is way better out of the box than the original Xeno was by a wide margin. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't still have a few issues. But it was $400.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess the short answer is, Stephen, I don't know. I think this for $399 or $414. If they already canceled your Xeno 2, if I'm sitting in your shoes, I'd be sorely tempted to pull the trigger on that new version of the Fimi.
Yeah, I mean, like Mark said, it's early days for the Xeno 2 as far as the firmware and where it's going to be down the road. But I'll pull Ken Dono on Steven here. Buy both and sleep on the sofa.
There you go.
He told me when I asked him, should I get the Mavic 2 Pro or the Zoom? Now, how about Bob here? When we mentioned Fly Zones, he said Fly Zones, the Z2 sales going up now. See, a lot of people, if this thing has any Fly Zone restrictions on it, it's going to hurt sales, not help them.
Yeah, you know what, Ron? I think about that. I think they said that with the original Fimi 2, but I'm telling you, I have never seen it ever mention anything. Not that I ever flew it in a no fly zone, but you know how a DJI drone will even give you a warning if you're in Class C airspace or something. The Fimi never did that with me, so I don't know.
Right. Little Mountain Light says I wouldn't buy a Xeno 2 is solid. Drone Shots has been popping in and out here. Hello, Drone Shots. Thanks for popping in and seeing us tonight. Internet went for a minute, but he's back now. And Alan Hazard's been with us almost the whole show here. Said we mentioned Stephen Ewing's been with us for a while. Bob's been in here. FSU grad Marcus. He says precision landing. I hope it works this time. That's a good one. Mark has been with us. He's been with us for a while. Alan says, if you don't already own an X8, I would definitely buy it for $400. Alan's probably spot on with that. Who else is in here? John Coopy's been with us almost the whole show. Third Eye View's been in here. He's in here earlier. He received his Fimi Palm from BH Photos, so I'm getting mine on Monday. So glad to see what you think of it. Mikey, the Drone Ranger, was in here for a while. He's been a big supporter of ours. Moderates a lot of our shows for us. Big contributor. He says he doesn't know anything about the X-Star.
Yeah. We are going to hear from Brian True Drone Reviews, I'm quite sure. So,
and Brian was with us for a while earlier in the show.
Yeah. He said he got it. I thought he had a note in here where he said he got it and it was in mint condition. So I'm glad that Brian got that. And you know what? I will say that I completely understand. Brian is not very happy with either Hubsan or Fimi right now. He had big problems with his Xeno Pro with the camera out of focus. And I mean, he did a lot of work shooting on that, trying to adjust the focus and stuff, and I don't think he ever got it straightened out. And then with his Fimi X8, and this is kind of weird, after one of the firmware updates, and who knows if it's really related or not. That's the problem, is you can never really know those things. But that thing is out of focus, and all of a sudden it got the shakes. he's got a number of videos up on that. So anyway, I understand why he's not really happy with either Fimi or Hubsan right now.
Yeah, I do too, and I feel bad for him, and I understand why he's you know, going a different direction here. It'd be interesting. 3X Drone Rom was in here with us a while ago. He says, "Isn't making people in line defeating the whole purpose of whatever?" I guess he's referring to that pre-ordering process, and you know, I guess I kind of agree with him. I mean, I almost wish these drone companies would just, you know, like again, it just, you know, it goes on sale, all this pre-ordering, and I don't know if that really helps us or hurts us.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, it's like you said, it's it's just a crapshoot. Any of these drones. I mean, heck, even look at all the hullabaloo that there was around the Mavic Mini with DJI, and DJI is probably the top of the bunch. Well, for that matter, look what everybody's gone through with the Autel Evo 2 right now too. So yeah, I mean, that just seems to be go hand in hand with the drone world for some reason.
Yeah. Floyd Moats was in here earlier. He said hello to us. Dave Cunningham was in here earlier. He said ground sensor is supposed to have more range. Yeah, I mean, that would be great if it had that 100 you know, 100-meter range. And Hubsan Choice put a coupon in here, a $10 off coupon for the Fimi X8 2020. So that's good to know.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice that coupon in here for us, and Hubsan Choice, even a Hubsan guy dropping a Fimi coupon.
Yeah.
It'd be like cross the party lines there, right, in the political world.
There you go.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, you know, I hope we got as much information out as we can. Again, we're just reading off the website. We don't have any inside sources. We don't know anything that anybody else couldn't know by just going out and look at the website. So I just want to make that clear. And you know, Marcus, you have anything else to throw in before we get off of here?
Yeah, I'll just make a quick comment. Alan was commenting about, we had a fake Jaybird in here, and I deleted the message, but it said that he got the drone today. But yeah, of course we know we didn't. But that was a fake one. So anyway, I deleted that one, Alan.
Okay.
But in any case, yeah, really, you know, it's just, this is always fun and interesting, and of course it's partially speculation. Oh, Stephen Ewing is looking for that link, and I am going to put that in right now, because you cannot get through it. Stephen probably didn't hear that. You can't get to it if you just search on Banggood. So
okay, go ahead and put it in. I'm going to answer DeMarco's question. He says, I came in late. Are both you hitting the buy button? We hit the alert notice button.
God, for some reason it's not letting me put the link in here, Ron. I don't know why.
You're putting a link in for the drone again, right?
Yeah. Hang on, let me
see. Maybe I still have it here. I think I still have it. Hold on, Marcus. Here it comes. If it doesn't go into 3 windows again. It's too big to go in one window.
Oh, there it is. Yeah,
it's a great link. You can't fit it in one window.
Oh, that must be what it is. But Stephen, if you click on that bottom one that says Banggood.com, it should take you there.
But of course, he won't want he could change it to China in there. He won't want the US one.
Yeah, he could just change it to the China warehouse. Yeah. Hey, so the only other thing I'm going to say, Ron, is this is always fun with this. I mean, I love this kind of stuff, and I particularly get excited, like I said, about these mid-price drones when they come out and they improve their features and they give everybody a better. It gets more people into our hobby then makes it more affordable, and that's always a good thing. So the only other thing I'm going to say today, Ron, is I'm going to mention it. I talk about this on all my videos and all our live shows recently. Hey, we're all right in the middle of this crisis right now with the COVID-19 coronavirus. I just would urge everybody to take care of your neighbors, be kind, practice that social distancing, and boy, I just keep, the more people I talk to, including relatives and friends, that are getting furloughed and laid off. So everybody is really stressed out right now. So it's even more important that we be civil and we be nice to each other. And when you're tempted to flame somebody on Facebook or something, just don't do it, and put a kind word in there instead. And yeah, that's about it, Ron. Great idea for a show today.
Yeah, great words there, Marcus. And again, it's tough times. It seems to be getting tougher every day, unfortunately. I won't, Marcus already said a lot of great things. I won't, I won't repeat myself. But we hopefully a show like this could take your mind off of the troubles, in your town, your community, your country, and before you have to go back to real life again. And I want to promote a couple of our friends of ours. Marcus, is it 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time that the QC guy,
Chad B,
and
Josh from Parks and Tech,
are going live at 6 p.m. right, Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
Okay. On whose channel?
I don't know.
Just look for links, but I just want to check out their show. They probably have different views on this new Fimi X8 than we do, so get a little bit different opinions of what's going on. So check those guys out. We always want to promote everybody that's in this community that's on the show, and so stop over there, check their stream out, and that's about it from what from my perspective. We'll be back Monday night with our normal Xeno Nation show, not 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, on the Xeno Nation network of shows. We came off a great show last week with, Sean Oz. So we'll probably get back to focusing on the Xeno 2 this week, because there's been some updates and so on. And they've added, YouTube, streaming from within the app. So anyhow, that's about it. So I'm going to say, I want to thank everybody that showed up here. We had a good group in here. A lot of irregulars. It was impromptu. I didn't, outside of getting on Facebook for 5 minutes before it started, I did no pre-advertising. So I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. And, we'll definitely be back Monday with another show for you. So see you next time.
Bye, everybody.